Today, we are going to talk about spiritual scams. Coming up in just a minute. Hey guys, I'm Mel from Melsdivination. I'm the owner, the operator, and the creator here. Welcome to my backyard. Today I really wanted to talk about something that I personally experienced not long ago. We're just going to talk about one specific type of scam that I want to talk about. Now, this isn't just spiritual scams, but I personally kind of witnessed it within the spiritual world not too long ago. Now, for legal reasons, I'm not going to name people, I'm not going to name companies, I'm not going to name products. I'm going to talk more about how to spot these things that can overall be applied to multiple areas, okay? And not just one product, not just one company, that kind of thing. Now, I have had multiple experiences with something called an MLM. If you're not familiar with what an MLM is, it's called a multi-level marketing, okay? There's all different kinds of companies out there that do this. You may have heard of LuLaRoe, you may have heard of Avon. There's a lot of other ones that I can't really think of off the top of my head, but basically what multi-level marketing is, and this isn't spiritual specific, okay? This is overall. Multi-level marketing is when there's a product like LuLaRoe, like leggings, or maybe medication, or not prescribed by a doctor, or maybe like with Avon, it's makeup that you would sell for this company, you, me, anybody. And the way that you get into it is somebody who's already a seller basically headhunts you and signs you in and brings you on board. And whoever that seller is will get a percentage of anything that you sell. So the person that signs you in gets some of your commission. Now, the person that signed them in will get their commission and it just keeps going up and up. And the people on the bottom level usually make almost nothing. And in some cases, actually have to spend money to have product on hand, like LuLaRoe. That was a big one. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, check that out because that was a very well-known one. I have been involved in a couple when I was younger, looking for a quick get-rich scheme kind of thing, like Avon. I tried to sell Avon for quite a while, and really what I did was I spent my own money buying myself makeup instead of actually getting enough customers to keep it going. Now, I'm not a huge salesperson, so I didn't go door to door. I didn't send out flyers. I wasn't promoting stuff. I was a teacher in a school, and people came to me for an Avon placement order, and that was pretty much it. People can be successful. I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's hard. You have to do a lot of work for very little return. Now, there's a couple of really key words I want to bring to your awareness of how to spot these things. I was recently invited to a spiritual approach of an MLM. It wasn't advertised as an MLM. I was invited to a webinar about the sale of this product. That's all I'll say is product. And it sounded pretty good at first. It sounded spiritually connected. It sounded energetically that it made sense. And then as it really got going, when I went to this webinar and the webinar got going, there was a lot of key terms that these people were using that I was like, oh no, here we go. So for example, if you ever hear somebody say, nothing is a coincidence. You are all here for a reason today because you are supposed to be invested in this, or you are supposed to get on board with this, or you are meant to be here. Usually it's because they're trying to sell you something. That was my first red flag. Red flag number one. Red flag number two. The item, the product, the thing that is being sold sounds way too good to be true. This spiritual thing that I'm talking about, it was a miracle. It did miracles. I'm listening to it, and it was, the more I listened to it, the more ridiculous it became. It went from claiming that it could help with energy and chakras, almost like Reiki, to claiming you never need a doctor again, and you never need to meditate again. You'll never have sleeping problems again. I mean, the list just like was gigantic. And it's all going to be all in this little package deal. Is all you need to do is this thing. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because I personally know people that are on board with this, that ate it up. And it's a scam. It's a scam, because if something is guaranteed to do all of these things and it's science-based, and I researched it, I Googled it, the thing is not science-based, no actual doctors, no medical professionals actually back this thing. They call it pseudoscience. So do your research, please, before you spend a lot of money. Red flag number 2. So red flag number 2 is it's a miracle. It takes care of so many things. It sounds way too good to be true. It's practically impossible. Red flag number 3, when they are introducing whatever this thing is. So for instance, they were introducing something that was linked to your phone. It was linked to an app, okay? There's a base model that costs so much money. And then there's like the next step up, and then the next model up, and then the next model up. And if you really wanted to do everything, you got to buy this one. And like every layer up is way more money, okay? And then on top of that, in order for this base model or these higher level models to work, you have to buy additional things to make it work. And what I mean by things is like smartwatch thing, or like a special wristband, and each of those things are expensive. And then you have to buy a different package if you want it to do X, Y, and Z here, and another package for that, and another package for this. And it's just like continuous. It's continuous, like piling on. Well, it's not good. It doesn't really work if you don't have that. Well, it doesn't really work if you don't have this. Well, it works, but it only does these base level things. So you got to add more. And like, there's just a million options of how to make this thing work even better for you. And it's even more money. Every step is more money. Every step is more money. The base program really isn't good enough, and you should get all this other stuff. Then red flag, I think we're on number 4, 5. Next red flag. I'm done counting because I've lost track. You have testimonials that sound ridiculous. There were such outrageous claims that were being made on this webinar, from this girl over here saying that they never had to do this thing ever again, from this person over here saying that they never had to do that thing and it was a totally different thing, from this man over here saying that it can do this thing. Like, they were all different testimonials of all the different features and how awesome these features are and how extreme these features are, okay? The last real red flag about this is one of the key phrases that they use when they're wrapping up the sales pitch is, when you buy this. So they say it to you like, when you do this, when you purchase it, like it's already in the bag, you're definitely going to do it. When you purchase this thing, make sure that you sign up to be an independent seller. Red alert. Biggest red flag there is. If they try to talk you into being a seller in any way, shape, or form. In any way. For example, here's a good example. I did this with a weight loss program. This was a long time ago, and it was not doctor driven. And there's a community. Oh, sign up for the community. There's always a community for support and extra levels and extra things you can add on and all these things, whatever. So when I did this like weight loss program, it was like over $100 a month. This was years ago. When I was first doing it, I was concerned about the price. And the person that was like pitching it to me was like, oh, no worries. You can you can sign up and you can sell, because people are going to see how great you feel, and they're going to want to know what you're doing, and they're going to see the difference in you, and they're going to ask too, and you can tell people, and then it'll basically pay for itself. Like, they basically pitch it so that you don't have to work. You don't have to work. It's covered. Like, don't worry about it. It just keeps going and going. Yeah. I never made $1. Okay. Spent plenty. Never made $1. And it didn't really work either. Not for me anyway. All right, guys. So I readjusted myself a little bit because there's a little friend back here that I just noticed. And thought it might be fun for you guys to watch him move around while I'm sitting here. Usually I give them baby carrots. And he's really close. He's really close to me. He's about this big. Not even, like maybe this big. So when they tell you to make sure you sign up as an independent seller, they tell you this. It doesn't matter what marketing program you're looking at. That's the biggest red flag of all. Sign up to be an independent seller. When you purchase yours, make sure you sign up to be a seller, because people are going to see how great you feel. Like, one of the pitches was, I'm a totally different person than I was last year. Oh, really? Anyway, people are going to see how great you feel, how great you look. They're going to want to know what you're doing, how it's working. Hi, baby. I have to go get some carrots because this one's a brave one, and he comes up to me. They're going to want to know what you're doing, and they're going to want to do it too. So when you tell them about the product, you want to get a benefit from that, because you're selling it too. You're partnering too. So that was the last thing I heard of this webinar, and I closed out because no. And the biggest concern for me with this entire thing was, okay, well, maybe some of the claims are real, which is true. It's probably some of the claims are true, but they were also saying it was backed by science, and it's not. I looked. But also the pricing. This thing that I'm talking about, base level, was almost $700. So we're not talking small change. We're not talking $5. We're not talking $15. It's almost $700 just to begin. That's baseline. So no thanks. Thanks, no thanks. So I just want you guys to be mindful about stuff like this. This is just even being a smart consumer, right? Because a lot of us didn't learn this kind of stuff in school when we were growing up. The majority of us, actually, we learned it from family, or we learned it the hard way. I learned it the hard way. So I do want you guys to just be mindful, because there is something going on. And I even talked to my therapist about it, because she's very on the holistic spiritual side, and she had heard not the best things about it as well. So even in the actual professional world of mental health, so just be careful. The only reason why I'm bringing it to your attention is because it is making its way into the spiritual community, into the light worker, starseed, new age, depending on what circle you connect with. I don't think witchcraft would be so much. If you're just more of a witchcraft person, you probably wouldn't connect with this. This is more like woo-woo, in the sense of it's new age, spiritual, chakra, healing, meditation, manifestation, all that kind of stuff. But if you come across something like this, vet it, meaning do your personal research. Look it up. If it's claiming to make any kind of medical benefits, look into it. Now, when I talk about the diet thing that I did, the research I did for the product, the ingredients that were in the product were known to cause weight loss in most people, but I have a very specific thing with my body, and so some people did definitely lose weight, which is why I tried it. Didn't work for me. Gave me a ton of energy. It was full of caffeine, but it didn't work for me as far as actually what it was claiming, and that's why I stopped taking it, because I was doing it for this purpose to help me. I did feel pretty good though, because I had a lot of energy. I have ADHD, And at this time when I did this, I wasn't diagnosed, and it was a huge stimulant. So I felt amazing on it because it was a huge stimulant and I needed stimulants. I'm now on a stimulant prescribed by a psychiatrist. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you for chilling in my backyard with me. Let me know if you like this setup. Comment down below. Have you had any experiences with any kind? There's no shame in it, which is why I'm sharing my experience with you guys. It's happened to me on a couple of different times throughout my lifetime. I'm turning 41 this year. So the last one that I got into was probably about 7 years ago. And it happens, but this is me sharing my experience with you, and it's not just spiritual. This is just real world life experience, things that you can apply to anything in your life that might come across like this. Definitely do your research. Be a smart consumer. Be a smart person who, before you invest in something, it's like reading reviews. Does this actually happen? Does this actually work? Where's the science? Where's the facts? Where's the information? Don't just buy testimonials, because people can get paid for testimonials, and that does not necessarily mean that it's a good thing. They could just be selling a commercial, right? All right. I will see you guys soon. Have an awesome day, and bye for now.